Dan Peters.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for this opportunity. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Good. I'm speaking tonight to offer my input as a longtime citizen of Selah, a parent and an active member of the community. First, I'd like to say our city leadership has unfortunately divided the city, and it didn't have to happen. Like many municipalities, the city would be back to fighting about masks or no masks if the city administrator had stayed out of this situation. Or even better, if the city had issued a proclamation supporting the rights of all citizens. Instead, because of name-calling and selective enforcement of the laws, the forces of division are being fed more and more fuel. But maybe this will end up being an opportunity to look at something that has been denied, the impact of racism in our country. We see that Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski recently said, and what do we do when we see it, this racism? We turn the other way, and no problem is solved unless we acknowledge the problem. If you acknowledge it, you have a duty to solve it. We as a country have a duty to solve this problem, he said. So my question is, does the city have a plan for how to deal with this division? What can we do to bring people together? In my opinion, it's going to take work and compromise and time. My modest suggestions are an independent facilitator and or trainer for the council and administration team in Selah with the goal of writing a strategic plan for diversity and equity, a public document that is followed up on. Establish and listen to focus groups of stakeholders, including activists, the schools and business, clergy, the Selah Downtown Association, police, coaches, students, and city officials to address issues of race, diversity, inclusion, and equity in our city. After listening, develop policies to address and codify these for future leadership and elected officials to follow. For citizens of Selah, if you are in a leadership position in this town and you've been hesitant to speak, please write to our city administration and express your opinion. Also, for citizens of this town, talk face to face, at a distance of course, with your friends and neighbors, including those you disagree with. As our church's minister recently said, lead with love and not with lessons, and pray for our town. Our city administrator has given the city an unfair reputation as being hostile to people of color. I'm really worried that this is the way Selah is now seen. Most of the world sees Black Lives Movement as not about some organization that shares the same name. It's been a sudden shift to be sure, but cities, companies, sports leagues, civic organizations, and citizens all over have shown that they are marching for an idea. Coach K added to his comments by saying, Black Lives Matter. We should be saying it every day. It's not political. It's not a political statement. It's a human rights statement, he said. Yesterday, Major League Baseball, America's pastime, said, supporting human rights is not political. And just today, the Kittitas Sheriff's Department issued a statement that read in part, the claim that Black Lives Matter is obviously true. Of course they do. These men and women are not illogical left-wing agitators. They have come out strongly not because of communism, but because they believe in equality and aren't seeing it. While the city I grew up in wasn't very diverse, I know most of you have friends who are people of color. I do too. I feel a sense of responsibility to speak up for those friends and for our kids' futures. I want to say hate has no home in Selah, but based on the comments of the city administrator and the actions taken by the city, it's not an easy case to make. As someone who cares about this town, this hurts me. One of the lowest points in this controversy came early on, more than a month ago. A 2020 graduate from Selah High School, an athlete and leader in her school and friend to many, known for her keen wit and gritty approach, wrote on social media in response to the original march that she had grown up in Selah and as a Native American saw racism as being a common problem in our town. The response she received from another Selah resident, leave. That has really stuck with me. I'm in this for her. We all should be. I want her to stay and help us. If she does go away, I hope she comes back. We don't need her to leave. We need her to lead. If I look at all these factors and missteps, again, as a longtime citizen, parent, and active community member, I think the best thing would be to let the current city administrator go. We need a fresh start. We really need the city council to take a brave step to get us going in the right direction again. Selah deserves better. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dan.